Assalamualaikum and hello. My name is Ahmad Najmi bin Abdul Razak. Today I'll be presenting about my project, which is The Sanctuary, a youth community learning center. To start it off, we'll go to my site synthesis. The site is filled with strengths and opportunities for development that is beneficial for the site, such as good sun and wind orientation with two prominent religious buildings, such as the Surau and Hindu temple. The demography of the site is 24% for 0 to 14 years old, 69.2% for 15 to 64 years old, and 6.8% being the people from 64 and above. School students and high school students is the target users for the proposed site building. Next, I'll go through my precedent study. One of the precedent study is New Shoots Children's Center, which is I referred to their emphasis on natural lighting and ventilation. Next is Yodamja Library, where I refer to their view-oriented rooms. The last one being the Rainforest Research Center, where I referred on their two different areas of activity with the same theme. Now we'll move on to the issue of the site. So one of the issue is there is a lot of education institution, but there is not much institution or buildings that provide a space for people to study around the site. Why is this an issue? It is because there is still a lot of youth experiencing the change in their learning environment, and there is less interaction of the community with the site. To solve this issue comes the concept of safe haven. It is inspired by the two religions near the site, which is Islam and Hinduism, because of their relation to gaining knowledge. One of the scriptures in Hinduism is Upanishad, which is it explains that there are two types of knowledge, which is the higher knowledge and lower knowledge. And for Islam, one of the ways to gain knowledge is by reading. To explain further, this building is to provide a safe environment for students to study and learn without being distracted, just like the two religious buildings, atmosphere and feel of the building. Using the Hinduism aspect of knowledge, that is Upanishad, the building will be made with two levels of the same activity, but going up as the higher knowledge and lower knowledge. As for Islam aspect, it will be shown through the elements of Islamic architecture by the keywords peaceful, calm, and humble, just like the Wakaf. Back in the day, the Tafiz used to learn only at the Wakaf for their general knowledge of Islam. So this is one way of me trying to make a more modern type of Wakaf. Now we'll go to my site plan. Here is the ingress of the building, the parkings, motorcycle parkings, the OKU parking, the drop-off, and the services lane. And here is the address of my building. Now we'll move on to the ground floor plan. So one of the activities in my ground floor plan is the indoor reading area, the outdoor reading area, the cafe, and the multipurpose hall. Next, we'll go to the first floor plan. Here we have the private reading area by going up the stairs. And here is the outdoor reading area. Moving along, there is a computer room, a mini library, a discussion room, and a management office on the first floor plan. Okay, now we'll go to the space tabulation. So for the ground floor, there is 259 square meter for the area, and for the first floor there is 185 square meter, which in total being 444 square meter for the whole build up area. Now for the building approach, we have the facade. The facade of the building is facing the main road, which is here, to maximize the view by having a more interesting design. Next is the openings. The openings focusing more on the facade of the building for natural lighting and ventilation based on the site synthesis. Next one is ambience, natural lighting to create an ambience by following the concept of peacefulness of the user's experience, which is on the indoor learning area. Next one is the louvers. Sun shading by using louvers to cover up the first floor of the building to reduce the sun rays to coming in. And last one is the roof. By using curved structure for the roof, it gives a more softer look to the form to change the shape from being bulky. Now for the form development. So I started with a simple block on the side. Then I separated the blocks by dividing it into two. Then I divide the one of the blocks into two different spaces. Then I added a curved roof to change the shape outlook, and finally refining the shapes into the final form of the design. Next we'll go to the site planning. Here we can see that I try to create 3 entrances for the building to give it a more welcoming feeling than just entering by one area of the building. Here is the indoor reading area and the outdoor reading area. Next we can see that this is my earliest concept of how I wanted the modern type of work-off and the placement of the work-off. Now we'll go to the elevation and sections. So the first one is the northwest elevation. Here is the louvers and skylight and the openings of the building. Next is the southwest elevation. Here is the indoor reading area skylight and the outdoor reading area placement. Moving on to the section. Here we have the indoor reading area, the lobby, the computer room, the management office, the pre-function area and the multipurpose hall. Now we go to the section BB. Here we have the outdoor reading area, the sitting area, the corridor and the indoor reading area. Next is the exploded axonometry. So for my building, I decided that I want a roof to be by using the metal deck roof. And for the structures, for the left side of my building, I will be using the timber wall, the more conventional timber wall structure. And for the right side of my building, I will be using a steel structure with concrete as the wall. And here is the metal roof trusses. And here is the timber trusses with their louvers. Now we go to the environmental study. The skylight acts as a natural way of providing light into the building to reduce the power usage, which is right here. The facade is decorated with louvers to reduce the sun radiation coming into the building. These are the louvers. And putting a number of openings to give natural ventilation for the building to cool down by using cross ventilation method. So here is the louvers that is mentioned. And next is creating double volume inside the building to create a more airspace and giving a humbling feeling towards the visitors. So here is the view from this from the roof of how high my double volume is. Okay, now we'll move on to my sections. So here is my typical section. Now we'll move on to the special detail. Here's the structure of my wall, one of the part of my wall, which is right here. Here I have the timber beam, wood plank, header and timber louver opening. Another special detail is my foundation part. Here is the glass panel, the timber decking, the wood wool, the floor beam, the L plate to support the joist, and here is the joist. Okay, here are some of the views inside my building. So here is indoor reading area, the outdoor reading area, the multipurpose hall, and the dining area. And lastly is a whole outlook of my building from the front road. Okay, that is all from me. Thank you for listening.